People are going to keep talking, then I'm going to keep talking. My grandfather could talk to me in French Canadian, and I can understand it, but I couldn't speak it. I think the important thing to remember about speaking French is that you must be able to say expensive brands properly.
If you go one step further, he was rumored to be a reptilian, Ray crocodile,
or a crock of shit.
If you go one step further, he was rumored to be a reptilian, Ray crocodile,
or a crock of shit.
And we're live. How's everybody doing tonight? Here on looks like May 20th, actually, 11:09 p.m. And we're going live with something a little bit different. Not sure how long this is going to be, but I do want to go over a couple things with you. Again, thank you for being here. If you're not here now, thank you for replaying and watching this. Somewhat important stream here. Here we go. Okay. Now, first of all, can I be heard? Am I being heard? I think I am. I guess no one's going to be here to let me know right now, but I am going to put a note up. Going to assume that I can be heard, as there'd really be no reason not to be other than some goofy little mistake. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, what am I talking about? What is Gorgon Stare? Gorgon Stare. Gorgonstare. Gorgon Stare. Let's go over that. Okay, Gorgon Stare is a wide area surveillance system developed by the U.S. military, of course, specifically the Air Force, designed to provide comprehensive real-time video coverage of an area, according to Sierra Nevada Corporation, not to be mistaken for Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. It is named after the mythological Gorgons, who could turn people to stone with their gaze. Now, if you know something about that as we read through this together for the first time, there is a legitimate CIA report. Well, how legitimate it is, I don't know, but there is an official CIA report of them investigating a situation where in Afghanistan, in a cave, some Russian soldiers back in the early 80s, when they tried to invade Afghanistan, a lot of you won't remember that. I'm old enough to remember that. A certain politician from Texas who got a lot of money passed to get those beautiful little rocket-fired, shoulder-fired missiles over there to the Afghani freedom fighters to bring down those quite advanced at the time Russian helicopters. They were deadly. But to watch them blow out of the sky, that was like Christmas every day. It is named after the mythological Gorgons, I hate Russians, who could turn people to stone with their gaze, reflecting the system's ability to watch an entire city at once. Now, keep in mind, from what I understand here, Gorgon Stare is then attached, affixed, if you will, to not specifically, but most likely the MQ-9 Reaper drone, which is a recon drone generally designed for, spying, basically, or just putting the field of a city in complete view at once, as we'll read on and find out. The purpose, Gorgon Stare, is designed to track vehicles, people, and objects in a large area. Please stack that away. That's going to become relevant. Often exceeding 10 square kilometers, according to globalsecurity.org. But let's take Gorgon Stare that's tracking these vehicles on these roads or these trains or these people that are walking on these streets or going from building to building, or these objects in a large area, and apply it to the sky. Stay with me. Technology, it utilizes a spherical array of cameras typically mounted on drones. To capture a wide area view, these cameras can both be electro-optical for daylight and infrared for nighttime operations. Functionality. Unlike traditional cameras that focus on a small area, Gorgon Stare can monitor a city-sized area. And that's just at a base level. They can be integrated with other systems, as I've read, to do much larger than a city-sized area, allowing for the tracking of numerous objects simultaneously. This quote-unquote collect-it-all approach allows for forensic analysis and cross-cueing with other sensors. Okay. Military applications. Gorgon Stare is used in military operations to enhance situational awareness for troops and commanders, as well as for targeting and recon. Civilian applications. According to Amazon.com, the technology has also been explored for civilian applications, such as solving crimes, easing traffic congestion, but raises concerns about privacy and potential misuse, rightly so. Development. The system was developed as part of an initiative to address the threat of roadside bombs in Iraq, and it has since been adapted for other missions. In essence, Gorgon Stare is a powerful surveillance system with the potential to revolutionize how we monitor large areas, but it also raises important questions about privacy, I had to say that all fancy, and the ethical implications of such technology. Thank you. I hope that read was as good for you as it was for me. Now, why is all of that important? Watch this video. You guys remember in 2014 when a flight full of 200 and roughly 50 people took off from a faraway city called Kuala Lumpur? MH370. Here's the Gorgon Stare video from it. Give it a shot. What the hell's going on here? Hang on a second. Let me get there. Now, I don't know how many of you have already seen this. Hiawatha, I'm assuming you have. You're into the subject matter. Here we go, folks. It's on. This is very dramatic. Please, if you need to, blow up your screen. Now, you can see the first orb enter and start circling the plane. You can see the plane wash coming out behind the propellant. Now there are 3 drones. They are syncopating around this aircraft. Once they are done syncopating in a certain we're going to watch it. Here we go. Okay, watch this. This is coming from official military sensors. Bam, gone. Gone. Okay. Just gone. I'm going to replay that for you. Watch it again. Hang on a second. Sasquatch, get off there. Come on. No one wants Sasquatch lady right now. Here we go. You'll see the first one come in. You can see the plane is on a trajectory coming almost, it's leveling out from a downward motion. You can see it leveling. You can see the wash leveling as if the pilot and or whoever's flying this plane is in some sort of correspondence with these mysterious orbs, rather. Now, they're going around in circles, but they will syncopate here in a different way than even right now. And you'll see it happen briefly before the portal opens. Stay with me right here. Watch them. You can see the heat index coming off the left-hand screen from the jet engines. Boom, gone. Scott Roeder, video analyst, has looked over this video. He's analyzed this video and has given us some credibility. Now, I'm not going to speak for Mr. Roeder, but the fact he is looking at it. Hey, Mustang, how you doing? Can you hear me? As I've gone on with the whole presentation now, I just want to know. And not that I expect everyone to jump in as soon as I decide to do a live. This was literally on the fly. No thought, no pre-thought, no jotting down of notes. Just boom, go live with it, baby. Excellent. Did you see that video? Have you seen that video before that I just showed of MH Flight 370 with the orbs? Something a fellow named Ashton Forbes has been investigating for a couple of years now. He's done a ton of investigation on this. People have done nothing but give him shit for it and try to discredit him and debunk him. But as this story moves on, the legs are there and it's getting bigger. And Scott Roeder is starting to back that up. And now that this revelation, I'm going to replay it. It's only 1 minute long, so it's worth a watch. What we're talking about tonight is something called Gorgon Stare. It's a military surveillance system on the MQ-9 Reaper drone, I think it's called. It's a recon drone. Something that's been around since in development since 2015, I believe, from the Sierra Nevada Corporation. They're probably with me doing this show, they're probably getting ready to take me out with one right now, and that's okay. Because what I'm telling you is Gorgon Stare is that official platform on the official military drone footage that has been leaked. And we're going to show this video again. I'll give you 1 second because I did Mustang, I did make it go away. That's how I find it works best for me. But give me just 1 second here. Let's see. MH. Now, are you familiar with the MH370 plane that went missing out of Kuala Lumpur in 2014? They still have never found any parts of the plane. They said, I remember like a few months or a year after, they found some chunks of a plane, but it was awful fishy that not anybody's body or anything, and all of a sudden you get a perfect little chunk of a plane with a number on it. I don't buy it. And when you see this video, I don't believe you'll buy it either. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Here we go. All right, give me a second. Well, I don't want to. I could turn down the volume. All right, there we go. I don't want to listen to this other dude yap on about it. Okay, hang on. I'm just not quite as quick as some folks getting the displays up, but I got it. I mean, this is very interesting. Okay, this is purportedly MH370 2014. Do you see those orbs then that suddenly start circling it? This is what the Gorgon Stare official military application sensors on the drone has recorded. Not just one, but there are 2 drone systems that recorded 2 different. Hey, Kenny Powers. Hey, Shay Watson. Just replaying the MH370 video. Shay, I'm quite sure you're aware of this, but with the revelation, I don't know if you've heard, boom, it's gone. With the revelation of the Gorgon Stare sensor system that the drone was flying with, all that stuff just came out yesterday, I think, or the day before. It is rather breaking news. Essentially lending a lot of credibility to Ashton Forbes and his investigation into this whole deal. You can see whatever channel this is. It's called X-Files. We'll give them that. I'm just not playing their audio, but they're essentially breaking it down. And it's actually not even quite the one that I wanted. So I'm going over that, exactly what Gorgon Stare was. I read through, which I could do again if anybody wants me to, of course, bring up the definition of what it is exactly, or you can just trust that it's a fancy military spy plane thing, you know. So, hang on a second, guys. I'm sorry. Let me go to my history. That'd be easier. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is the one I actually want to play. This one will show both drones in full detail. One, you'll notice before I play this, yeah, I know, I agree. Hey, what up, Kenny Powers? New to my chat. Nice to see you. Glad we welcome you. All are welcome here. Everyone starts with full respect here on the Derek Farmer Network. Right out of the box. Simdal, excellent. Excellent. Not you got some people not usually showing up here. I was not expecting this. I just did an impromptu live. I didn't make any notes. I didn't make any bullet points. This is simply off the cuff. And what's the phrase I'm looking for that we use in the restaurant business? You know, well, I'll think of it. Anyways, what the hell is playing right now? What is that? Hang on a second, guys. Let me get back to where there we go. Oh, stop it. Don't play until I want you to. All right. Oh, it is. Oh. Here we go. Now blow up your own screens if you want. Now, the left side, you'll see the sensor system will show when the plane comes by. Then not only do you see the wash from the plane, but you also see the jet engine heat sensors. The drones or the orbs do not have that. The one on the right clearly is an infrared nighttime system. Well, not clearly, but I think it's a different, a representation. On the left is actually maybe the one on the left is the infrared, right? Or maybe that's thermal. Maybe one's thermal, one's infrared. Don't know. Anyway, so one comes out, then boom, there are three. Now at the end of this, they start right here. They start syncopating in a different fashion than they started out originally, and the plane comes down for these things, slows down, and evens out for them as if the plane is in complete correspondence with what these orbs, bam, gone. Where did it go? Who did they murder on that plane? Those 250 people are gone forever. Okay. And this is that I have researched and found. I'm just getting on the air with it. Yeah, well, I mean, I would think this would be super late. I'm not sure what your time zone is, but it's like going on midnight here. I mean, I don't usually even go on this late. Of course, I guess that means Sensi Wackadoodle will be waking up and having tea and biscuits or something soon. I just made that up on the fly. I swear to God, Mustang. Well, we have a new listener in the room. I got to make up something. I was calling it the ABN, the Amateur Broadcast Network, because I'm an amateur. I'm not a professional. I didn't go to college. I'm not going to sully anyone else's name by trying to steal the name professional broadcaster. That'd be ridiculous. Or even broadcaster. I think details are important. Let's make the distinction. But let me say something. For those of you that enjoyed the Olympics or college football more than professional football, then I'm your guy. Shay, good to see you. I'm all fired up. It's been a rough day. And I agree, Mustang. It is freaky. I mean, it's been out there for a long time. I mean, this video originally came out only days after. And by the way, as they've gone through this video, and Scott Roeder has gone through this video, when those orbs are going around that plane before it vanishes, it is co-acting with the wash or the propellant coming out of the plane. For that to take place in 2014 in terms of fakery, as quickly as it did after the actual event occurred, when it disappeared and this video got leaked, it was only a matter of days, would be damn near impossible. You're talking about the level of integration between the orbs and the mere wash coming out of the plane are then creating its own spin effect that can be verified through physics. It's crazy shit. It's real shit. And they made that plane disappear. Whoever they are. I don't know if that's military. Again, much like Jim Quirk from Quirk Zone, I have a very hard time believing that our military, our Air Force would murder 250 innocent people to maybe kill one person on board or test out some equipment. But one thing's for sure, they haven't found that plane. They found a chunk, a small piece of plane. No bodies, no personal effects. And the sensors on that plane, the transponders that both receive and transmit location information, they have said since the beginning were switched off physically on the plane, indicating a terrorist attack to some degree by a qualified pilot who was actually able to fly the plane, take off from an airport, get clearance and all that shit. It wasn't as if they had a strong arm takeover. That wasn't the indication. The indication was the pilot turned off the transponder. Who was that pilot? I mean, we know who they said he was. But after looking at this video and after having professionals analyze it, maybe what they're telling us isn't true. You have to put it, there. Shay, right. You hadn't seen in years, but so curious. I mean, this Ashton Forbes, who's some kind of YouTuber, I don't know who he is. I mean, he's got the last name of a famous Forbes, but I don't know if they're related at all. I don't know. That. But he has put in a ton of time on this. And I don't if it just, to me, with the new revelations coming out, that it's because I already made it disappear again. But if we were watching that again, you'd see the whole sequence play out. But what you wouldn't be seeing and what is blocked out are those little numbers and stuff. Whoever leaked the video blocked all that out to protect procedures and ways and means of how the drone itself worked. That would have been breaking their security oath to show those details of how that drone recorded things. But the fact that that's a Gorgon Stare system isn't now in dispute. And that's only military. They can talk about how it may have public implications in terms of crime fighting and everything, but it's a very sophisticated system that continues to grow. Remember the woman that crashed into the commercial airliner? No, no, Kenny, I don't. Remind me of that. I remember the astronaut lady that strapped on a diaper and drove across the country. Her last name was Nowak, which is pretty funny. That's my cousin's last name. But that's not the same thing we're talking about there, huh? She strapped on a diaper. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm not your usual news guy. This for me, this breaking news format, it's new for me. But I'm not afraid to do it. I think I can be pretty succinct. Well, he said a commercial airliner, that woman. So the Black Hawk, was that a female pilot on that just happened? And commercial airliner, isn't that something bigger like a jet? I don't know. I find it very curious, you guys. I mean, I don't know how long I'll stay on. Right, Shay. How long I'll stay on talking about it, because I don't have a lot of the detailed breakdown. But I find it interesting at this point, all these years later, Shay, right? That this video not only hasn't been debunked yet, but now is continuing to gain credibility with professionals tearing it apart and analyzing it and going, you know what, those objects are really there. That nobody added that. Now, did it make a plane disappear? Maybe that part was added. I don't know. Yeah, hey Junior, hey, thanks for stopping in. Your favorite topic, UFOs. Oh, then you guys didn't even see me play. Oh man, hang on a second. I'll play my 14-second UFO bit with Sleuth really quick. I do like it. It's pretty hilarious. Sleuth, as you guys know, Sleuth Intuition was the first interview, or actually the first live show I ever did was an interview show with Sleuth Intuition. And I was talking about I brought up the alien subject, and I was talking about a story I had read about the founder of McDonald's. Name was Ray Kroc. And that what had given him his money and ability to start the world's most successful franchise was that he was actually a reptilian, Ray Crocodile. Here's what Mr. Intuition had to say about it. I love him. That up. We'll do that again. Here we go.
If you go one step further, he was rumored to be a reptilian, Ray Crocodile.
Or a crock of shit.
if you go one step further, he was
I'll tell
rumored
you
to
guys
be
what, man.
a reptilian, Ray
I've never seen a better
Crocodile.
interview with Sleuth Intuition in my life. It's the very
Or a
first thing I
crock
ever
of
did
shit.
online. There's not been a better interview with him, man. Sorry. I did the best one. I'm not bragging about that. I guess I am a little bit, but I mean, as I look back, I mean, not just him, but Kristen behind the crime door, Justice Served Daily, Mr. Steve, Cryptex, Arctic Fox True Crime. You know, a broadcast hero of mine again was a guy named Bob Costas, who did something called the Late Late Show back in the 80s and probably early 90s, where after I think it was Letterman or one of those later shows, would do a half-hour show with oftentimes an unknown politician or a B actor or just some kind of corporation owner or something, but it had no audience. And Bob had a way of getting people to reveal things about their own personality. A real gift he had, in my opinion. Did I go on Cloudy Injustice? I don't know. Sorry, Junior. I mean, of course, that's why I left that channel. You know, it got a little political. I contended that politics and cold case murders just didn't mix. Oh, I know, Junior. That's it was a falling out for us. No, actually, not the fact that he supported Trump. The fact that he said Democrats were in league with Satan and most likely child pedophiles. And my grandpa was a World War II vet and was a Democrat, and like I told Sleuth, he fought for your freedom for you just like he did for everybody else, and I just didn't appreciate it. And when it comes to cold case murders, and maybe it was before the election. I give him that. It's his channel. I give him his First Amendment rights before anything. He has a right to talk about anything he wants to. But it was a real direction changer. And the reason he made me a mod in the first place, he said, Farmer, I know you won't let people talk political in here. Well, if I have to moderate the fucking host, then it's just not going to be a tenable arrangement for me, as much as I love and respect him. I'm never, ever going to be a sycophant to anyone and allow, I guess, my own moral compass to be swayed that far. Anyways, I agree. Rarely. Same with religion, same with hot button topic issues, whether you're cutting your wiener off or, getting married to your boyfriend if you're a guy, or, having an abortion at the Happy Pickles abortion clinic. None of that stuff is fun to talk about with people because it pisses people off. It really draws a division, which is why they bring up that kind of stuff between liberals and quote unquote liberals and conservative. Although I find those labels blasé. I just believe in the Constitution, and I think that has to be the ultimate document. There has to be a finality to these rules, and that a piece of cloth can't be that finality, or I think it has to come from that document. I really do. And that's what the Supreme Court is there for. We could argue, do they need terms or whatever, but, they're sort of the gavel wielding protectors of that Constitution and try to make as many decisions, ideally, along the lines to keep it in line and to not sway too far out of that, whatever that scope is for them. Look, I know I act like I know a lot for a pizza guy. But I know more than your average pizza guy. I'm sorry. Two wings of the same bird. Two left wings. That's what they call me. Old two left wings. Always flying around in a circle. But, Junior, I'm putting this back up. Because he told me. Well, so, what pisses me off, though, it's like, so he can be honest about who he wants everyone to vote for and all this great shit, but as soon as someone else expresses their honesty, oh, you're banned, It's like, come give me a break. That's why I always quit people first. I don't give them a chance to ban me. And then I let them know exactly how I feel. And then I stick to that. And if I have to apologize like I did to Cryptex, I do so. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And apologies, by the way, folks, in my opinion, isn't a de facto invitation for the person you're apologizing to forgive you. That's up to them. Your apology, a true apology, isn't to clear your own conscience. It's to let the other person know you fucked up, regardless of the consequences. Well, again, though, Mustang, I mean, it just goes to show you, I mean, the guy has all the talent in the world. And I think his heart is pure. I mean, I do think he's a good dude. But he gets a little nutty buddy sometimes. And I said, you got two channels. Veer that off in the channel 2. But you're doing all this on a channel where victims and victims' families could very well be the demons you're talking about when you're demonizing entire political parties without warrant. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't know what I am now because I'm pissed at the whole system. But I'm not going to be complacent and not vote, even if I got to write somebody in. I'm going to take part in that process. It's important as an American to do so. And I think it throws into the face of people who have fought and died for this country to not take that right most seriously of voting. I don't want to soapbox to you guys. I'm not saying that makes me better than anyone. I also understand perspectives of people saying, look, I don't vote at all. I don't feel it does any good. I don't want to be part of that evil process. As an American, I respect your right to voice yourself that way. So it's not, for me, it's not a you must do this or you must do that. For my own guidance, I must vote. Even if I have to write someone in that I think would do the job better, I have to take part in the process. Or I can't bitch about it going forward. And I love to bitch. But I think it's clear that things are on well, thanks. I had to learn that the hard way, Shay. With someone going, you're not doing it right. And so, yeah, when you get faced with that kind of stuff, you have two choices. You can buff up against it, become defensive, and never learn anything. Or you can breathe, soak it in, and hope to make wiser decisions going forward. That's all we can do as humans. I don't tell people I'm never going to do something bad. Like I said on the last broadcast, I don't make promises I'm never going to do this or that again. But I will promise you I'm going to try not to do it again. Because I know it's not the right thing to do, whatever that may be. Oh, yeah, Simdal. I mean, this is a newer lesson in life for me also at 52. You adopted a not get worked up over. I like how this conversation went from my MH370 flight revelation to the most awesome fucking conversation ever, by the way. Thanks, everyone. Really great. And I'm not being at all sarcastic. I enjoy this so much. This sort of, to me, again, without this chat aspect and being able to come on live and do this part of it, it would not be fun to me. So keep the numbers low as far as I'm concerned. I don't mind just having a few people. I adopted a not get worked up over things I can't control. Makes life so much better. And I agree on that. I won't say that I have the ability to live that way all the time. I know that's the right way to live. That's something I'm working towards actually manifesting, where I am like that, because it doesn't make sense to get worked up about really anything, but most about things out of your control. Right. It's always a work in progress. You sure are correct about that. But I think the work goes on for everybody. I mean, there are days when it's sometimes, I mean, I know I probably said out loud, fuck it, I give up, I give up, I'm done. But I don't wake up feeling that way. I only go to bed feeling that way. When I wake up the next morning, then it's just go get him, Tiger, again, it's a whole new opportunity. Yeah, Junior, wow, gosh, I always forget you're a little bit older than me. I was born in 1972. But I was able to vote at 18 and certainly registered for the draft. I didn't want to do that. I was politically active and against the, military stuff back then, Grenada and so forth. Oh, there's a whole UFO thing with Grenada, guys. The whole reason we actually went down there. I'm going to investigate that shit. It's something I've been kind of hearing in the background. Anybody remember that little quick Grenada conflict when we had to free our, kids from the university or whatever? Apparently they recovered something down there, the military. And that's true. 1971. So in 1972 would have been your first presidential election, and that would have been between Richard Nixon . Oh boy. Let's see, 68 was McGovern, right? Or do I have it backwards? It was 72 McGovern. What Democrat did Nixon run against in 68? Because LBJ stepped back. He could have ran again, but he decided not to. Or he could have pushed it because he took over for, obviously, an assassinated president and then won in 64. But in 68, he stepped back. Well, anyways, so 72, maybe that was the McGovern one. Yeah, those are some, Junior, the funny thing too, not funny, but ironically, people think things are so out of hand today. If anybody would just do a little bit of like a history search, our own government considered the people marching on campuses to be trying to basically be revolutionaries who should be gunned down. All you have to do is watch the Kent State footage out of Ohio, or listen to the Neil Young song to get a gist of literally gunning down innocent students for protesting. They didn't have weapons. They were just shot dead right there. McGovern, 72. Who was 68 then, Shay? Help me out. Who did, what Democrat? I mean, Robert Kennedy got blown away. I mean, he would have been the one. In fact, he had just won the California primary, which was a huge one that he needed to win when he was gunned down in a conspiracy. Yeah, Junior, I mean, I could kind of, I mean, you, I don't know if you're from Michigan. You got that kind of, you don't seem like someone that would like Nixon. You really don't. I could see you voting for McGovern. Anti-war candidate. Not saying that you weren't patriotic and did whatever you had to do, but if you did, maybe you respected the fact that he didn't want other people to have to go through all that. Hey, thanks, Mustang. Thank you very much for popping in. sometimes it gets a little sidetracked around here. I wasn't even, again, planning on going live. Just something I did really quick. But I sure do thank you for stopping in for any amount of time. And you have a great night. And be safe out there. Junior says good night, of course. Shay says good night. You know, we're tucking each other in. Hoover. Oh, stop it, Shay Hoover. He did not run against Hoover in 68. You're funny, though. Anyways, I mean, yeah, of course we can Google all this stuff, but I'm sort of sentimental about the old days of just trying to figure out something without just knowing the answer right away. What do we lose in the process of not going through and making those connections and figuring out the answer and just having it at our fingertips? I mean, is it essentially a more complicated calculator? Junior, at your age, you'll remember calculators integration into public schools. Integration, not just for minority folks, but also calculators. There was a time if you brought a calculator into a public school, you would be lucky if the teacher didn't smash it on the floor. It was considered cheating, with the exception of when they came out with algebraic type calculators that actually did formulaic breakdowns of stuff. That wasn't, I didn't even know how to use the calculator when it came to those. The calculator was more complicated than the formula. Yeah. But your basic calculator, you weren't allowed to bring that out in math. Now they got phones with calculator. I mean, everything you have has a calculator on it. First thing I had with a calculator on it, bam, wristwatch. 5th grade, had a digital wristwatch, Casio, thank you. Had a mini calculator. Pretty sweet for 1982. Yeah, right, exactly. And Simdal, yeah, right, Simdal. And here you have a situation too, where suddenly, much like when there is ground displacement during a bad earthquake, it doesn't just shift slowly where that sort of, student teacher information paradox, thank you, happens. But bam, it happens all at once. And that's what I feel like something like AI is doing. And I heard a strange new theory. Shay, what do you think about these orbs being future AI coming back? That was the first time I'd ever heard that. That makes sense. What if computer systems got so advanced in a million years that they were able to come back on their own? And that these orange orbs are the manifestations, not manifestations, but the physical. Somehow they're able to read our minds, though. I know that sounds weird to say out loud. What I mean is people really do summon them during CE5 events. It's not fakery to make those things appear on demand and to make things bounce across the sky in speeds and directions that aren't humanly possible without some sort of force field around that craft that would stop the G-forces from ripping your body apart. Yeah, Simdal, I mean, I don't like it either, but it is just, one of these things that never has like clicked with me was when not everyone, but a lot of people say we could be living in a simulation. And I pinch myself and I go, I don't feel like a simulation. But what if it's not quite what I'm, thinking that it is? What if it is future simulations that have mastered time travel? When you're talking millions of years down the road, there's no time at all. If you get that, Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't use it on anything, to be honest with you. I'm not against it. I still want to take part in it. I don't want to take part in it. It gives me the choice to not use it. I always hit no. I like my own. It burns my ass when they try to put my pictures together on, like Google Photo, and they start like meshing things together and making their little scenes. Because that's not how I took the picture. That's not what I want to represent with the pictures I take or with the recordings I make. They have to come from here and here. Okay. Not a computer generated equation of zeros and ones, or whatever quantum level equivalent of zeros and ones are, because I don't know. Hey, Junior, good night. Thanks for stopping in. This was definitely one of these stop-in, stop-out shows. Probably be stopping out myself pretty soon. But you know me, I don't usually leave the room till everyone does. So, like the captain, I go down with the ship. But I'm glad you were here tonight, Junior. And always glad that you give me any time at all. Thank you. Shay, of course, says good night to Junior. Yeah, this is the unknown, what you would call the unknown unknowns. The most gray of grays. The unholiest of holies. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's Simdal says bye, Junior. The unknown unknowns. I think that's a good way to put it. I mean, there are known unknowns, like quantum, shit that they know exists. They just don't know how to prove it exists. But there are unknown unknowns. They call that the woo-woo. Like, why can people look up at the sky? Now, here's something weird. You guys ever heard of a researcher named John Keel? He did his stories. He's been dead for a long time. I do believe they murdered him. He's the one that brought forth the Mothman stories out of West Virginia. He was there when the Silver Bridge, I believe it was called, collapsed, and over 40 people died as the Mothman was seen on that bridge hours before that happened. Many, many UFO reports and very anomalous shit going on nonstop still around that entire area of West Virginia, by the way. Magnetic ley lines like crazy, vortices, the whole deal. But anyways, this John Keel, shit, what was my original point? Because it was good too. I'll have to let it come back to me now. Damn. But he was investigating, something else he was investigating. Here's a weird one. You guys do remember the, it was called the something monster, the Flatwoods Monster. Again, this whole area, Flatwoods, West Virginia. Now, this Flatwoods Monster case was interesting. Seen by kids at first, and by kids, I mean a range of kids from 19, and I think he was an Eagle Scout. That gives him credibility, by the way. Not easy to be an Eagle Scout. I never was one, but I give anybody that was an Eagle Scout certain credibility. It shows a real stick-to-itiveness. And then a bunch of younger kids. So this thing sort of crash landed, this meteor behind the school, and they tell their one of the kids' moms, I think, or older sisters. She's in her 20s anyway. She's the oldest, and she was a teacher, I believe, at the local school. What had happened and what they're going to look at. So she chaperones them and goes with them, and the dog comes. There's 5 or 6 of them all together. I guess what happened was they took liberty to draw like claws on this thing and make it look different over time in the media. But the original thing was, and this thing smelled horrible, and the smell that it gave off killed the dog. It was called the Flatwoods Monster. But they said it looked like a robot and that it was mechanical. And that it didn't even have legs or hands. And it hovered. And it was tall. And it smelled like sulfur, and it stuck in their nose for days. They couldn't get rid of it. And like I said, a couple of them were very ill, vomited. A teacher was there to witness all this. Oh, really? Have you ever heard of Skinwalker Ranch is interesting. You have the Bradshaw Ranch also, but again, out east, I can't. It's called no, it starts with an M, but it's a large area. The Marfan Lights or something. I don't know, something like that, where they have been recording these orbs. And I saw a whole presentation at a university from these guys that did it. The one main guy is dead now. He was kind of overweight and older, or they murdered him, like they do a lot of people. You think, are you asking me, or you think they're all the same thing? Because the difference is, I think, like at Skinwalker Ranch and some of those places, they're seeing more than orbs and spaceships. They're dealing with like the literal Skinwalker aspect of it, where things are turning into other things in front of them. And this is nothing. I mean, you guys, I'm a science-based guy. I've seen the cheesy, what I thought was the cheesy, whatever channel that was where the Skinwalker Ranch stuff was on. But the people involved in that Skinwalker Ranch thing originally are all the same people involved in the UFO thing now. Hal Puthoff, all those people. In fact, part of the original funding from Senator Harry Reid was to study that, and Bigelow owned that before he sold it to the government. Is it all a big money scam and a bunch of hoo-ha? I don't know. But I can tell you that there were actual physical effects according to them and Dr. Gary Nolan. And that guy really did. It's like Havana syndrome. Like they're being hit with some kind of... In fact, this week there was a skip that was scheduled with David Grush, Lou Elizondo, and... the third player that's always there. I can't think of details right now. But that was supposed to take place yesterday. And Representative Paulina Luna came out and said, well, it was Mellon, Chris Mellon, former Secretary of Defensive Intelligence, Christopher Mellon. He's in the know. He's very credible. They all called in sick for this SCIF meeting. And she said, well, we can't get to the bottom of this if everyone's going to have the SCIF flu. But I thought maybe they were actually sick. Maybe they got hit with electromagnetic weapons like the Havana syndrome. That does real brain damage and puts people down in a vomitorious type way. Oh, yeah, George Knapp, you did? Yeah, that's the thing. Things get dramatized, and it does it's been kind of the Achilles heel of this community, I think. Maybe it's a way to fight back against erroneous attacks nonstop, belittling people. I bet you if I put together a reel of all the clips from 1947 to 57 that said little for hours, that's what they planted in everyone's head. Little green men, little green men, little green men. Well, that's impossible, right? Turns out some of them are little green humanoids. Some of them are large, black, shadowy humanoids. But I don't know if it's all the same thing. Going back to what you said. Another thing they said is maybe some of these things are advanced bio. When you say advanced biologics, think the Blob. Maybe it's advanced living matter, whatever that means. It might not even have a shape or form, in other words. But it's intelligent beyond belief and beyond what we can even... Much like an octopus. We don't know how to gauge the intelligence of an octopus. I'm not even sure they're from here. But I try to tend to stay... I try to stay away from like the total obvious farcical stuff that could be considered farcical. But the more I look into this, and I'll take up something Dr. J. Allen Hynek said. Of course, J. Allen Hynek was an investigator for Project Blue Book before he revolted against the government's own Project Blue Book, saying they just have a debunk it narrative. They won't let me do any science. And then started a foundation called QPOS in Evanston, Illinois, right by Chicago. And now all of those archives just went to Albuquerque, I believe, to someone's huge collection that is now open to the public. It's I just saw a big report out of Ross Coldhart. Got several collections, QPOS being one of them, the Center for UFO Studies that Hynek had in Chicago. So now all those documents are being digitally scanned and put into the system. You're talking, and that's where Gorgon Stare came from. Holy shit, it's all coming back to me now. That's how I found out about Gorgon Stare, yeah. Yeah, it is, but you can do it. You just have to look for the commonalities. Unless the bullshit story is so common that becomes the story. You know, I mean, I can't ever say definitively beyond. I can't even say that what I saw and that what was verified by Scott Roeder was what it was. I can only say that it was there in the video recorded. What it meant to be or what it meant to display or whatever, that part is still kind of up for grabs, really. Just looked like a big basketball on fire going across the sky, you know. But I have my own ideas that it is some sort of reconnaissance and surveillance system for either advanced humans in the earth, interdimensional beings, or advanced AI, really. Computers coming back from the future almost to me makes how they manifest as physical things. I don't know how that all works out physics wise, but things that oftentimes are considered magical and supernatural at first, oftentimes are just science we don't understand at the present time. So I would just say the book's out on that. If people are, you know, it's not as if people are just seeing these things. They're being recorded on multiple sensor simultaneously data. This is actually going on. Non-human intelligence is in contact with our planet. It has been verified. We don't know what they want. Yeah, Shay, but the shocking part, the ontologically shocking part, is that we unwittingly play a part in their existence here. While at the same time, we pay our taxes, but yet we are lied to by the people that do know, at least in part, their agenda is, or at least what they've been told their agenda is. Because I don't believe any non-human intelligence is a million fucking years ahead of me. I have no way to verify that information. We have to just take it at face value. Okay, but we got to get beyond that at some point if we're going to find solutions and not freak everybody on the planet out. At some point, there's going to be a tip where people go, oh my God, this shit is actually happening. The videos are so multiple at this point from just regular folks like me. I didn't make up a video. I didn't make up this thing. I don't even know how to do that. I couldn't just figure out until a couple weeks ago how to even make a play in the background of the video I'm showing you right now. These things are real. What they are, I have no idea. What their agenda is, who knows? Some people may know in part what both of those things mean, but they're holding it back from us. Now, I agree, there's going to be some technology that needs to be held back here, because it's going to be so dangerous that it could potentially wipe out an entire planet with the push of a button and one foul swoop. But that doesn't have anything to just do with saying we have been in contact and our origin story is not what we have been sold scientifically in school. It's dogma. It's all scientific and religious dogma. A story meant to stay the same through ridicule and oppression. Okay? Power. This is about power to you, not you to them. Because they could tell us too, whoever they, it, whatever these multiple species of things are. But they don't. Is there a back alley agreement that they actually, you know, these things are legally binding in a galactic court somehow? Possibly. But to hold that information back, to just acknowledge we're not alone in this universe, is a crime against humanity. That's all I have for tonight, folks. We're at exactly 1 hour. Thanks for joining me. Shay, Simdal, all of you tonight, for that matter. Junior Johnson. Shout outs to everybody on my network. the amateur Derek Farmer Mustang, of course, good to see you. Kenny Powers, thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up. Nice to see a new face around here. It's a little disturbing with the red eyes. I feel like you could melt me, but I still want to hear about the commercial airliner and the woman that crashed into it. But y'all have a good night. It's just food for thought. Doesn't change anybody's lives. We all got bills to pay, and God knows these NHI are not paying our bills. Peace. Yada yada, unless I know what the hell I'm doing. So this RV gets towed in here. Well, there's just like a sewer pipe or something called a sewer pipe underneath of this thing that got sort of somehow disengaged from the, I guess what we would call the crapper. So it's all just a big mess right now. You know, thank God there's a 24-hour Shell station around the corner. If you guys are up there watching tonight, I love you guys. You know, sorry I overflowed the toffee cappuccino machine once again, but it says halfway or 3/4, but that's bullshit, and you guys know it.